Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of But Am I Wrong? A show brought to you by two people who have never been wrong. My name is Melissa Diamond Monts, and I'm here with
Megan Ranks. Hi. Thank you so much for having me as a guest on your show.
Oh, you're so welcome, Megan. So today we're going to be doing three things. First, we're going to start off with, and that's when the two of us will share things that we may or may not have been wrong about in our lives.
We have never ever been wrong. So other people, you, our listeners, write into us and say things that are happening, situations that they are stewing on, being like, oh, was I the hero or the villain? And we will tell you. Then we also talk about our own stuff, hot takes, things that we're like, no way are we wrong about. And then we nominate our wrong of the week.
And if you would like to participate, please write us a letter to butiamIwrongpod@gmail.com. Keep it to 300 words or less. As of late, I don't know why, but a lot of y'all have been...
Like, oh, Megan doesn't know how to do math. She's not counting.
No.
But I can guess.
But the thing is, you
of
just highlight it and see how many words you've done. And some people have been writing novels. We don't have time for that.
No. And you should be getting paid for writing that many words.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doesn't have to be an essay. But if you'd like to include your pronouns, please do. It's all anonymous. If it's not just about you, give people fake names, not initials. It's way easier to follow with fake names, preferably with different letters that they start with.
Mm-hmm.
And we will rule with our iron fists.
And this is not our only show. So if you would like to listen to other shows, let's get a rundown of what
the slate is like.
Yeah.
Monday,
we've got Don't Blame Me. We had a great episode this week. I think one of the big highlights was about someone created a spreadsheet of matchmaking.
Yeah.
So check that out.
We're in crowdsourcing questions.
Mm-hmm.
A live listicle. We were having it was a live BuzzFeed quiz. Yeah. Get to know yourself.
And then on Tuesday,
Melissa shared something very vulnerable.
It was very vulnerable.
Some might call it a lasting, unrequired dream of hers.
I can't believe, I used to have these dreams and they still kind of feel real.
No.
And now I've been haunted.
She's mourning the loss.
I forgot about them and now I'm like, my friends.
Yeah.
But they're also people that I publicly talk negatively about.
Which you have both beef in real life and in the dream realm with them.
So what if a lot of my anger just stems from the dreams?
Here's the thing. If we weren't right about Gina Rodriguez, I would say that that's where we're getting all of this anger. But she is one of the saving people that I go, no.
Did you?
No,
did you see the video that Kerry Washington posted? Because Kerry Washington is all over TikTok. She also, if you're a Fitz, I can
never get into the names of those.
But she feeds it into it and is always because they're still friends in real life, and she posts current videos of them together, still kissing each other and whatever, like in real life. But there was like a round table discussion with actors.
These women in one room together
that are on Hulu. Look at the comments though. I guarantee it's a lot of people talking about, did Gina not get the heebie-jeebies from two of the people there? And if you don't know what that means,
whose name? Who'd you say?
Gina. And there's a song that she's rapping, and she says the N-words give me the heebie-jeebies, but she did not say N-words. She said the actual N-words. And people in the comments are like, did Gina get the heebie-jeebies? You might be able to see them more because
No, they're here.
Okay, because also
they're coming up.
The ones on
what happened to
on Instagram. The ones on Instagram are
my faves. Then Gina. 3 people have a look in their eyes that they know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
One person does not have that look in their eyes. This to me gives me the vibe of there was a conversation had in the bathroom with an eye contact exchanged and okay, we're moving forward. This is the day.
Yeah.
Wow. But all of this to say, anytime that I go, maybe my gut's wrong. Maybe I'm making it up. Maybe it was all from a dream. I remind myself of Gina Rodriguez. And I wouldn't say either of us celebrated when it happened, but we both said, I knew there was something.
There it is. Not surprised.
Whoop, there it is.
And I'll also go on record this to say that her husband's one of the worst actors I've ever seen on TV.
Is he on a soap?
It's on Bold and the Beautiful, which she also started on. So I feel like she got a job there. They have on the because the Bold and the Beautiful is it started in 1989, I believe. So you can get all the episodes where like the other soaps have been on for like 50, 60 years. So you can't get all the episodes. So they've put all the episodes on YouTube. And then also they have like, if you like ship somebody, then they have like playlists. But then they also on YouTube, they have a Gina Rodriguez playlist of all her episodes. And so I was watching Bold and the Beautiful, and he got killed off shortly after I was watching it. So I was like, great, because this is some of the worst acting that I've ever seen in my life. And then I found out that he was her husband, and it just put it in a new perspective for me.
He was also on Jane the Virgin for 5 episodes.
Is that where they met?
Maybe. Wow. So the tangents are tangenting, and I don't know how to do a smooth transition.
Yeah, we're just here. We're vibing. It's 5:23 on a Tuesday.
My Adderall has worn off, and we're going to get into our first segment, which is But Are You Wrong?, where we read your email submissions of...
No, we're not. We're getting into But Am I Wrong?
Oh my God, you're right. That is what's first, maybe. We're doing But Am I Wrong? Where we share with each other a hot take, a rant, or a situation in our own life in which we think we're not the wrong, but we want to pose the question.
This is more of a rant, and I just want to talk about my terrible therapist.
Oh, no.
I dumped her about 6 months ago.
Uh-huh.
And so I feel like I have enough time separated from it now that I'm just ready to talk about it. And I'll start with the good. She did convince me that when I know that I'm right about a situation, people are arguing with me, just to leave the situation.
Yeah.
Because it'll eventually come back around, and then I'll prove them right.
You've even given that advice on the podcast.
I have. And so that's where the good advice ends.
Amazing. There's one little dot in the pros.
She didn't discuss the things that I wanted to discuss in therapy. She was obsessed about my love life.
Oh, yeah.
Like, weirdly obsessed with my love life. And she wanted me to like talk about my dating history starting like when I first started dating men, like from the very beginning. And then she'd be like, why aren't you like you're broken up? Why aren't you upset about this? And I was like, it happened 10 years ago. If I was upset about this, that would be a problem. But like, I don't like, that's weird to me. It would be weird for me to be upset about something that happened 10 years ago. why should I still be like, I don't know if she was looking for something to therapize
But
me
also
on or
unprompted.
what.
It's not like you were like, oh, 10 years later, it's still eating me up. She asked you a question. You go, 10 years ago? Okay, yeah. And she goes, and you're still upset? You go, no, you asked me.
Yeah. But like, she would like dig in about it. And she's like, why aren't you upset? And I was like, because it happened 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why we need to continue to discuss this.
Was she trying to set you up with someone?
I first started seeing her like deep in the pandemic.
Yeah.
And she was like, why aren't you dating? And I'm like, because I have a health condition, which you know about. Because like she has my medical records and things. Because she's like a doctor. And I was like, you know these things about me. And she was like, well, you should get out there. And I'm like, to get sick?
Can't date if I'm dead.
Right. Like, she was like obsessed with it.
She just like decided what your thing was going to be before and then was just trying to get it to be your thing.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
And then she was like, do you date outside your race? And I was like, yeah. And she was like a Black therapist, and I didn't understand, like,
is she single and horny?
She's married, and she's married to a non-Black man, so I didn't know if she was like, you're closing yourself off to things. And I was like, no, I don't discriminate. Like, I don't understand where these lines of questions were coming from. And then it'd be like, we'd have the next therapy session, and it was like we didn't have the previous one.
Oh my God, I can't say when it's like, did we just collective him? We just don't remember where.
Like, you weren't taking notes. Like, what's going on here? I just did not understand. And then it would be like the things I actually like to talk about, then she just kind of brushed past them. I'm like, ma'am, this is where I would like to, these are the issues that I have, and I would like to talk through them. I felt like she wasn't actually listening to me. And I told her, like, when I started therapy, this was in my like initial intake thing. I was like, I've gone to 3 other therapists. Mm-hmm. The best one I had was like in college. And then everyone after that was like, would say things like, you're so well adjusted. I don't understand why you're here. Yeah. And I hate that. Yeah. And I'm like, I want like, I know therapy isn't just about venting, but I would like to talk about these specific things because there are things that are bothering me, which she would brush past. And then she'd be like, well, you seem like she did the exact thing that I didn't want her to do, where she was like, well, you seem like, you know, everything's going great. Like, you don't really need to be here. But I was like, there are things I want to talk about, but you won't talk about them. Yeah.
And I came to therapy. People who don't need therapy don't go to therapy. Yeah. People who need like therapy also don't. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like it's a trend. Like, I want to sit here and pay money. Like, I have just all the free time in the world.
For her to conduct a Q&A about your dating life. Yeah. I can't stand that.
To let everyone know, like, if your therapist isn't working, just leave. Because it just wasn't serving me. And I'm just like, I truly am baffled by the things that were happening in these sessions. Baffled.
It also feels lazy to me because, like, maybe a lot of her other clients are like struggling with not dating and relationships, and then she goes, I don't want to have to think too hard. Let me just rehash all the stuff I've been saying with someone else. Yeah. That's really fucking annoying.
Yeah. So I don't have much like I haven't left the house recently, so I don't have anything too hot or ranty to talk about, but leave your therapist if you need to.
Oh, yeah. I've left a therapist before.
Yeah.
You should also know that apparently I saw a therapist who was talking about this, about the people who have the hardest time in therapy, but who still need, who therapists have a hard time recognizing them. People who are incredibly self-aware, this is us, who are like, I know why I'm upset about this. I know the history of why I'm upset about this, but I'm still upset about this. Like, how do I've intellectualized this. I've done all of that steps. Like, what do I do if I'm someone who is just too self-aware and I intellectualize my problems and I can communicate them as well? And it's that we're not good at feeling things.
Yep.
So the first step usually is people feeling things. And then it's like, what is this feeling? How do I feel this? But it's harder to reverse engineer it. And I saved the video forever ago. I'll find it and send it to you. Because I was like, oh, I should probably like find a therapist who does this. But was talking about specific questions to ask your therapist, kind of like hypotheticals, to be like, it's reverse engineering therapy. So she's like, instead of like, you're at the second step first, and usually how therapy is taught in schools originally is first step, second step. So when you come in second step, they're like, oh, then you're good. And you're like, no, but I need the first step.
That's
and
exactly,
it's about helping them get there.
That's exactly what it was. I was like, I need help feeling.
Yeah,
and
that's
what
exactly my issue.
And that was what I was like telling her. And it would just be like, well, we need to break. No, I have that. Like, and then you're saying that I'm fine. And I'm like, I'm not. I want.
Drives me crazy. My therapist would say, just feel your feelings. I go, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I don't feel good.
Yeah.
Is that it? And she was like, no, you just got to feel them. And then finally I was talking to my couples therapist who I love, who basically became like an individual one. And then she was like, oh, there's better answers to that question. Be done. I think therapy is like sushi. Good sushi is good sushi. Bad sushi, bad sushi.
Yeah.
Being self-aware.
Maybe I should go my dreams.
You should go in your dreams.
Yeah.
Ask Chloe to be your therapist. Wow. So I'm very much on your side. And mine is incredibly unserious.
Okay. I love unserious things. As a silly girl who pretends to be serious, I love unserious things.
An Aquarius. So mine is just one statement.
Okay.
I would like to pose a question to the class.
Okay.
And I would like us to take a minute before we answer and just think about it.
Okay.
Maybe horses don't want to be ridden.
I feel like this is a personal fucking attack.
Maybe horses don't want to be
What's
ridden.
on your shirt?
A horse being ridden. Okay, here's the thing. I think that some horses want to be ridden. I think some dogs want to play basketball. I think some dogs want to join an Olympic bobsledding team. I think some fishes want to go to Australia and find their son at the dentist office. I think animals have different personalities.
Wait, Finding Nemo took place in Australia?
I think that's where they went because
never seen
towards
it.
the end. It's like alarming. And I think some aliens want to be dogs. Stitch. So
Never seen that either.
if we can give animals their own little personalities and we're like, oh, we can look at them as individuals. But I think as a whole, unless a horse is giving you an indication that they want to be ridden, why are we just riding horses? In this day and age, why are we riding horses? We're not riding elephants. We should not be riding elephants. Like, why horses? Why do dogs get to sit at home in these gorgeous little beds, go to the spa, get their nails done, get all fluffed up, and horses have to be in the dirty streets of New York City, walking around, working, carrying police officers, sitting their butts on their racks?
As a newly formed horsewoman, I do believe that not all horses are meant to be ridden, but some of them, they're fine with it.
Similar to some zebras want to be in horse races. Like, there are...
Is that another Disney movie? I'm not aware.
Stripes. Nope. It is. That was my first date movie I ever went to. Frankie Muniz was the voice of that zebra. But like, I just think that why do dogs get a soft life and then horses have to work until then they can retire?
Some of them don't.
I know, but why is
I was on a
default?
horse. I was on a horse called Playboy, and he was a retired actor.
Yeah, maybe some horses want to go to Hollywood. Maybe some horses want to be a star. And instead, they're just like attached to like a little pulley system and they're walking around in a circle.
Are you talking about horses? Because some horses are just pets. You know, they just gallop around.
I think we need to find a way to communicate with horses to be like, would you like to be ridden? And would you like this to be your life? Because we just buy horses.
There's a girl called Booty Poppin' Ponies. That's her Instagram. And she treats her horses as if they're her children. She does maternity shoots with them.
There you go.
And she dances around them and she knows like who likes to like play.
Yeah.
And who like rides. And some of them she gets on their backs and twerks like on all fours, which I think is a great skill.
That's incredible horse training. Wow.
But yeah, I think she's a person that I believe understands
knows her horses.
What horse. Yeah.
So I just feel like I just worry. I worry. We're seeing what's happening with AI fighting back. We see what's happening with orcas. The orcas are pissed. The orcas are coming for blood. And we're also all learning about hippopotamuses who kill for sport. And I just think, you know, who can have a lot of fucking gripes with humans? Horses.
Yeah. I agree. I only write the horses that speak to me.
You know what this really is? We need Dr. Dolittle in the house. And we need...
Which
what was
version?
Kyla Pratt's Dr. Dolittle? Which one?
That one with the Eddie
was
Murphy.
she little one?
Oh, well, wasn't she in one like when she was little?
No,
and
I was
then
gonna say, but
when she grew up, she was a doctor. She was like the vet.
I know, but didn't she have another name or she's still Dr. Dolittle?
I think she's still Dr. Dolittle. Like
yeah, it's Dr. Dolittle. She's Maya Dolittle.
Yeah, she was Maya when she was a little girl, and then
so
she grew
then she
up.
became the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor's in the house again.
Yeah.
So Kyla Pratt, we need you to speak to these horses.
Wasn't Raven her sister in those movies too?
Was she?
I think so.
I loved those movies. She was.
Yep.
There is no other animal that we use like a means of transportation and all of these other things.
Oh, it's been happening for years.
Without a doubt. But have we asked the horses? And also, like, how are their knees? Like, what if they're tired one day? What if they didn't sleep well?
The last stable that I went to, they were very, like, cognizant of, like, the feelings of the horses. It was like, if the horse is having a bad day, you're not going to ride it.
No, totally. And the riding of it in, like, a recreational way, but, like, more of the professional sense.
The ones that are, like, the cop horses.
You rely on a horse to do your job. So this is not a threat to horse girls. It's not, because I believe people who die hard love horses. I believe that you've got a little Dr. Dolittle inside of you. You can talk to your horse. You understand your horse. But I do think we should reflect on the role that horse movies have played. And they're getting kind of the same edit as military propaganda. Like, it's like, these horses love what they do. And it goes, but do they? Or do I just think that because of Seabiscuit?
Did Seabiscuit love what he did? Did
I don't know.
Seabiscuit
What's
die?
the other one that's came out at the same time that was the happy version?
I don't know.
I don't know.
And then
Horse
there was
movies
like
I never liked.
the one that they forced me to watch over and over again as a kid.
Your sisters?
No, it was like Black Stallion. No, like
Yeah.
in school. Black Stallion.
Or Black Beauty?
Black Beauty, that's it. Black Beauty. I feel like whenever that movie dropped, that my teacher was like, I don't want to teach anymore. Here's Black Beauty for the 5th time. And you know what? I don't remember anything about that movie. I don't think there was a lot of talking in it, or I just spaced out.
That was me with Gandhi and the Lincoln movie. So listen to this. Tell me this is not propaganda. Set in the Depression era, already propaganda.
What is this for?
Seabiscuit tells a true story of an undersized racehorse who inspired the nation. Propaganda. Horse propaganda. It is horse labor propaganda. Spirit was the one that freaked me out.
I would like to share a story.
Okay.
That I came upon maybe a month ago. So in 1923, this little jockey was on a horse. And he had been starving himself because jockeys have to weigh a certain amount before they can enter the race.
Mm-hmm.
He was starving himself. And he got on in a race. And they're like, whoa, he's going so fast. Crosses the finish line. Wins first place. Dude is dead. He died during the race.
His
And
heart
it's just
couldn't
been,
handle it.
his heart couldn't handle it. He had been starving himself for days and won the race as a dead person.
Did the horse get the prize money?
Probably not.
There you go. So it's not even a fucking duo. It's not a team. Like the fact that we are using these animals as like, we're a duo, but who's getting the full ride to college?
Yeah.
Who's putting the down payment on the house?
Yeah.
And the horse is there going, I didn't even get to fucking tour it.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping there's room for me there.
Yep.
This is like the same way I felt about Lil Michaela. Lil Michaela
God.
exists in the she exists in the universe. Lil Michaela's, she's the front facer. You couldn't do the work without Lil Michaela. But you know what Lil Michaela gets? Nothing. She gets a phone
She's
powered
not
down
real,
every night.
though. It's not the same.
But again, we don't know where technology's
But
going.
Horses, they're real.
So I think if we can't be afraid of the resentment that AI will eventually have, we should be afraid of the resentment that horses have. And then people, when they get like knocked off of a horse and they're like, oh my God, this horse was so mean. A blind horse stepped on my foot. And you know what I think? I don't think a blind horse should have been at a children's birthday party.
I agree with that.
You know? And I think that the way they demonstrated that, because I'm not a Dr. Doolittle, I'm not a Doolittle of the I'm not a doctor of the Doolittle, that the horse was like, I don't want to be here. Let me step on this child's foot to let them know. I'm not a veterinarian, but I was picking up on those signals.
When I get on my next horse in 2 weeks from today, I'll let you know.
Please do. I'm so excited for you.
I'm going to be on the beach, in the woods, through the mountains.
Every terrain.
Yeah. And we'll have lunch. I'll bring a
Bring a
special
snack
treat for the horse.
There's a movie called Horse Girl, a psychological drama with Alison Brie.
Did it come out during that feels like a
2020.
movie that came out during the pandemic.
What is this?
Here's the man. He was dead. They didn't know.
I don't need to. Thank God my glasses aren't on. That will haunt my dreams. You get Khloe Kardashian in your dreams, I get that. Anyways, that is my hot take, and I'm ready for this to be my most disagreed with take.
I don't think it will be. I would like, I don't remember if it was on this show or on Don't Blame Me, but the horse girl that called in about men thinking that she's just gonna ride them like a horse, which makes no sense.
They've clearly never seen Seabiscuit.
You'd like to write in to share your thoughts. I'd like to know.
But here's the thing. I trust her Dr. Doodle senses.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that NYPD has got a Dr.
I
Doolittle
think
on staff.
this is more cop related.
Not all horses, but all cops.
But when I was looking up in Houston to go ride some horses when I go to Houston in September. So I was planning out my trip. They did have like one of the places you could go was to the police to go visit the cops. Of course, I'm not going there. But that was like you could go visit the cop horses.
You know what? We just need to get a message to the cop horses and be like, we're on your side. Do what you need to do.
LA has cop horses
I know,
too.
which is
Odd.
and incredibly inconvenient. I have to think that they're purely just for show and parades and also for
Hanging out outside of Jimmy Kimmel. That's where they
Yeah.
are always. They're parked in front of Jimmy Kimmel.
They just wanted a higher vantage point to
Maybe.
sit there. Because also, like, I don't think these cops are like trained jockeys. So, like, if it was like, oh, we've got a suspect coming, they go, you'll stay here. You race after them. I'll stay here. Like, they
No,
can't
it's so
like,
dangerous.
I think they'd fall.
Yeah.
Anyways,
All right, we're going to take a break. And when we return, we will be discussing, but are you wrong?
we're back. Did you miss us? Now it's time for But Are You Wrong?
All right, but are you wrong? Here we go. Hi, Megan and Melissa. I, 26, she, her, live with my sister, 23, she, her, and would love your opinion on a situation. My sister heats up her menstrual cup in the microwave
Nope.
before using it.
Nope.
The cup comes in a little plastic case that she fills with water and heats it up to sterilize before use. Am I wrong for thinking this is gross? Because she does it in the evening right before I'm about to use it to heat up my food. Her reason is that the cup has been washed and is inside a case, so it is sanitary. But I can't help feeling icked out about it. I personally don't use menstrual cups, so not sure if this is a thing everyone does or not. Would love your thoughts. I currently have one inside of me, so I can speak on this.
Yeah, speak on it.
This is a thing. It says on the container to either boil it on the stove in some water or put it in the microwave. And you can also, which I would never do because this is disgusting, is put it in the dishwasher.
Google says that the cup itself should never go in the microwave. You can put it in boiling water from the microwave.
I think it depends on the company, what the company's saying. Who wrote this?
Pixie cup.
That's Pixie
I'm not
Cup.
concerned about, like, I don't.
It's sterile plastic.
Like, it's not, yeah, but I'm more concerned about the microwaving of the plastic and then sticking in your vagina.
Well, you're supposed to let it cool
No,
for a
but
long
just,
time. Like, this is supposed to be like after you're done with it for that. I don't know when she's clean. It seems like she's cleaning it before every use, but you're supposed to do it after the last time you use it during your cycle and then put it away and then use it. Like, you're not supposed to do it after every single use.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, this is just my granola training as a child that, like, it freaks me out to microwave.
But microwaves are different.
No, it's a me problem.
Yeah.
But it freaks me out to microwave that stuff. So, like, I don't think it's not unsanitary, like, you know what I mean, in that sense at all. Like, it's been washed. If you didn't know that this was happening, it's not unsanitary. I think it's the thought that it is unsanitary.
It has been inside of your sister. Now she's putting it in the microwave.
Yeah. But I think of something like, okay, so she uses a towel to dry her vagina, and the towel's gone through the washer, and so it's clean.
Yep.
But then you're touching it in that sense. But I think if you think about that, you go, ew.
Right.
So I think if you think about anything, it's gross. Like, I think you think about the fact that, like, you move into a house, and unless you're buying a brand new toilet, someone had saddled
I changed the seat,
which was genius, because I was like, oh, that gives me the ick. So I think there's a lot of things in life, if we think too hard about them, they're icky.
Mm-hmm.
But if we didn't know that it was happening, nothing icky happened.
Right. And vagina is a self-clean organism as it is. So it's not dirty. It's just bloody. But the blood has been thoroughly cleaned off of it.
Yeah. So I think, like, time it out where it's like, it kind of like, because, like, I think it's totally fair. I get really sicked out by blood, any kind of blood. So if I'm getting ready to eat and someone's talking about blood, or I'm seeing something that used to have blood, like something like that makes me think of blood, it can make me lose my appetite. So in that thing, it'd be like, okay, let's coordinate.
Mm-hmm.
So just give me a text of being like, I'm using the microwave.
Would you prefer her do it in the morning? Because you said it's in the evening when she's about to eat, maybe after you eat, but then it might get food senses in it.
Yeah, I think it's actually more the other way.
Yeah.
Or just, you can also tell her she doesn't have to put the whole thing in the microwave.
Or after she does this, why don't she put a cup with some vinegar and water in the microwave and run it for a cycle, and then it's clean.
Yeah. I think you figure out, like, what is sicking you out. Is it like, are you afraid it's going to, like, are you afraid of, like, invisible, like, particles and germs? Do the vinegar thing. Is it like you're just picturing it in your head? Be like, I don't want to know when you're doing it, but I want it to not be when I'm around. So, like, that just, makes me feel nauseous. And so then talk about that, but figure out what's icking you and adjust that.
One time I had just bought a brand new menstrual cup. I was in Arkansas for Christmas and had forgot to bring mine. I just opened it and set it on my dresser. And then my sister and my brother-in-law were in the room talking to me, and he looks over and picks it up and goes, "What is this?" And Melanie, my sister, goes, "Oh, it's a shot glass." And he's just looking at it. I hadn't used it yet, but hilarious. And it's, if he would have known, like, she's really egging him on.
Take a drink, Ed.
She's really egging him on.
That's funny.
I'm sure if we told him today, he would be so mad about it. But again, it hadn't even been used yet.
Yeah.
You go to a restaurant, your mouth has touched so many glasses that so many other people have touched. The fork, the spoon that you've used.
Yeah, there's so many people come, they touch your door handle and you don't know what things that they, like, there's so much of that. If you think about it, like, you'll spiral.
You think about how when you're in a public restroom and you turn on, if they have the kind of faucet you got to touch, somebody just touched their ass or cat with those hands.
Yeah. That's why soap was invented. Like, I mean, I don't actually know why soap was invented, but it's the byproduct of soap being invented to clean everything. So, yeah, everything's gross if you think about it too much. As someone who gets icked out by things all the time, less thoughts. Just have less thoughts. Just think less. Might I suggest downloading a fun little game on your phone? Like, veg out.
I have a fun game on my phone that I play multiple times a day.
Me too.
Your turn, Megan.
Okay. Also, my other question.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
You rather her boil it in a pot on the stove?
Right. Maybe she gets her own little pot, though, that she boils it in.
But then you see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The residue just surround
and then it's like, I'm going to make pasta in that pot. So it's got its, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then you got to clean it. But then it's like the sponge touch the...
And then it's with all the other pots. I also don't have much. I previously just said something. When I had my period, I would just free bleed towards the end. Okay. Hi, Megan and Melissa. Me, 30, she, her, my boyfriend, 30, he, him, have been living together for around a year, earn the same amount and share costs such as rent, groceries, and bills equally. However, we have an ongoing debate about what would be considered costs to share and what aren't. The biggest debate is about the car he leases through work and pays $200 a month for, including gas, insurance, and maintenance. That's a very good deal. When we started dating, he offered me to use it whenever I wanted. I don't own a car since public transport is great where I live, but a car is convenient, so I have been using it more frequently. Since we both work from home, it isn't that much. Now he has approached me about sharing the cost of said car. In his mind, since I use it as well, I should contribute around a third. However, I feel this is unfair. I only use the car since it sits there anyway, and there's no additional cost associated with me using it. He made the choice to get the car for that price. My argument is that since I didn't choose the car, it is ultimately his, he should pay for it. If we were to have to pay more for using it, I would obviously pay the difference. In my mind, it's unfair for him to save money by us splitting the cost. He argues that my own car would be more expensive, but I wouldn't get one since I have consciously decided against owning one and still use public transport, which I have a ticket for that I pay for myself. While I like driving it, it is unnecessary luxury in my mind. Am I wrong? This is like a moral dilemma.
I'm on pins and needles waiting to hear what you have to say.
Well, because the way you've laid it out, yeah, the car is there. Sure. But I think if someone offers you something that like, oh, go ahead, like use it. And then whether it's how much you've been using it or, you know, whatever, is asking for a contribution to it. I think if you don't want to contribute to it, it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I won't use it. I don't think you can say, I'm not going to contribute to it and then still use it. Like, I think it's fine if you don't want to contribute to it because you're not wrong. Like, that's how much it's going to cost. That's how much it'll always cost. So then don't use it.
But the thing is, that's not how much is it always going to cost because you've got not just
and
gas, but maintenance.
Yep.
And every time you use the car, the tires are going down a little bit, the engine, the oil, like
who's insured on the car.
Right. Like there are things every time you use a car, like there's a chance that like a wreck could happen.
Yeah.
Like what you're doing is you're investing with making the payments, you're investing in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the insurance. So then like it's a risk. Like using a car, every time you use it, it depreciates a little bit more. So if you're using it, then you're contributing to the depreciation of the car. So I feel like if you're going to use it like regularly and to a point where it's like, you know, whatever you share it or you're like using it, it is a luxury. And since it is a luxury and again, it's something that you're using, then you should be contributing to it.
Yeah. And I don't know what state you're in because California, the car is insured. And when you're a driver, whatever car I'm driving, I'm responsible because I am the driver and I am insured in that, even if I'm driving a friend's car. But there are some states, you're driving someone else's car.
Mm-hmm.
If you got in a car crash, like, do you have insurance?
Right.
And also, like, what if you got in a wreck and you got hurt? His
Mhm.
insurance isn't going to pay for you
Right.
if you get hurt. So to me, this is like, and I don't know if that was his thought process, but like, I could also see it in the sense of like, there's a risk associated with, like you said, but also there's a risk associated, like if you were to get in a car crash and you're no longer going to be covered, how are you going to pay for any, I mean, maybe you're in free healthcare, but like, if you're not, if you crashed his car, what would happen?
Yep.
Because if his job is not okay with having someone else use it, he could then lose his job. Like, would you pay for that? Like, so I think like not contributing anything because the cost would still exist is true, but that only is true if you don't drive the car.
Mm-hmm.
If you drive the car, the cost is not the same. Even if the monthly cost is the same, as an overall, it's not. The possibility of how much it'll cost, but also, yeah, the wear and tear on the car.
Yeah, you're also adding to the mileage. So like when he goes to resell it,
Yeah.
then it's going to be less than it would if it was just sitting there as well.
One of the last lines, in my mind, is unfair for him to save money by us splitting the cost. That is also, you've only been together for about a year. So I think you need to have some conversations on like how you view money.
Mhm.
Because to me, living together, you've been living together for around a year and you share the cost of like all of those other things equally. The tit for tat kind of thing and like thinking like your partner's trying to get one over on you like financially, even if you keep your finances separate and you are together for 30, 40, 50 years, if you have kids together, you have assets together, anything like that, even if you keep your personal finances separate, the other person's financial well-being is directly affects your financial well-being.
Mm-hmm.
And so having kind of on the offense with that or the defense or anything, like if it's not collaborative, that's not gonna work. And it's not that one way is right and one way is wrong. It's just that you're not on the same page with how you want to handle finances. Because to me, then I wouldn't live together, you know?
Yep. Essentially all coming from one pot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. I'm like now thinking about it in like perspective. My car sits out most of the time. I've had it for 6 years now. And it's still under 30,000 miles. And I'm thinking about if somebody else was driving it all the time, it would not still be under 30,000 miles and it'd be worth less money. And I'm just the one that's paying for it.
So when Mott's totaled his car and he had to drive mine, we were thinking of reselling I was thinking of buying out my Jeep lease and selling it. And we had to have a conversation because it was like, oh, if you're then going to be driving this for work, the enticing factor about this car is it has fucking no miles on it. And so then that was the choice. We're like, okay, you know, it's going to be way too much of a hassle to sell it because we don't know when my new car's coming. And it was like too much fucking effort. And I didn't want to deal with it. And so it was like, okay, cool. Go ahead, drive it. But if we lived in a place where then it was on my insurance, no. Like that would have, it's just not, you just can't. Because then it also fucks up like him getting insurance later. Like it's just all of these other things. And I think it's totally fine to want to take public transportation. But I think if it's about like the principle for it, using other people's luxuries that you're not going to participate in because you're not, you don't think that, but it's just here. That's not really how things work.
No.
But I don't blame you for not totally understanding that because you don't have a car, like you don't drive. Like that's a valid to not totally understand that. But yeah, I do think you're wrong.
You're wrong. All right. Now we're going to take another break. And when we return, we'll get into what are they wrong?
Woohoo. Oh, we're back. Are Are you ready to party?
Okay, so I have 3. The first 2, I'm just going to give a one sentence about. Russell Simmons, terrible person. Always, my whole life, he's been a terrible person. And this week, some things have come out with his ex, and it's been his ex-wife for a long time, so I don't understand why.
You talked about her on one of the first episodes.
Yeah, and that was her then current husband. I don't think they're still married now because that was divorce proceedings. But like they've been they've been divorced for years. So I don't know what's exactly going on, but he's a terrible person. His daughters have been online talking shit about him, and fuck him. Then we've got Alexander Shauni, Shouni, who was a police officer, and he just was on his way to work in his cop car and decided that he was going to drive 80 in a 45 and got pulled over by another police officer.
Iconic.
And the other cop was like, "What are you doing?" And Shauni is like pissed, like, "Why are you pulling me over? I'm just trying to go to work." Like angry at this dude. And it's like, you're the one driving 80 in a 45. And he's been suspended now. Also in Orlando, so not surprising. And then lastly, this is still an ongoing thing. I don't think it's going to have a positive outcome, but the people that built the submersible that is down went looking for Titanic wreckage. Stockton Rush, the CEO. And in case you don't know what this is about, this man built this. You can't call it a submarine because it's not under any type of regulation or sanctioned by any official thing. It is this thing that he built from equipment that he got from a construction site.
Mm-hmm.
Also things that he got from a camping store. The control that controls it is an Xbox control.
It's an off-brand Xbox control.
And then with the whole plan of this thing, by the time it reached the bottom where the stuff was, you can't even look out. Like, it's too dark to look out. So all they were doing was looking at stuff on a screen anyway. So you didn't know this part?
No, I saw that. Like it was all black and like when they show, but I assumed that we were waiting for the lights to come on or something to happen.
No, like it legit.
Worst fucking nightmare.
Yes, it's scary. It is terrifying.
The ocean terrifies me.
And I don't understand why people are so obsessed with the Titanic still.
Well, you lost me there.
To the point where they want to go down and look at the wreckage.
No, my fear of the ocean will always outweigh my weird special interest I had for multiple years about the Titanic.
Also, too much money.
More money than sense.
$250K to go down in this science fair project that is bolted from the outside that you can't get out of. Even if the submersive were to come to the surface, they still can't get out of it.
I really want to know. And the company has they've removed their website. Like, they've gone fucking dark. But I really want to know. And I think the lawyers of the families of people who are there are I think we'll eventually get it. I want to know what they signed.
Oh, it's on the, CBS did a story on it 6 months ago. And in the paperwork, it says that death could happen.
Yeah, you waive. But I wonder if it waives any family
trauma from it.
Any families for suing for.
I mean, anybody can sue for anything
anytime.
But one family of a billionaire, it's him and his son.
I'm like, you're going to do something with a buy-in of $500,000?
Yeah, but a quarter of $1 million. But it's a son and father that are on this thing, and so they spent $500,000 to go down in this thing, and they're billionaires.
Someone who spent $250,000 someone who spent $500,000 to do this versus a company who is not profiting $500,000. You're about to go against those lawyers.
Yep.
Like, you should never fuck anyone over, but holy shit, good God, this is why things that are, when people have the access and the money and the time to sue and be litigious, that's why they write these fucking ironclad contracts. But I'm like, no shot they did that.
And one of the men that are on this also was part of one of those billionaires that went into space thing. Too much money.
Men will do anything but go to therapy.
Too much fucking money. So if you want to see the interview that CBS did 6 months ago, I'll put it in the show notes, but I highly recommend it because you can see how shoddy this thing is. And you can see the paperwork and how jokey they are about going down in it.
This is like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm sure the guy who did it does not feel good, like who did the interview. Like I'm sure he's looking back going, it is very on the, like it's,
yeah.
But it's sad. Like it's like,
sad.
Oh shit, like we talked about this and nothing happened. Nothing changed.
There's no GPS on it, no type of tracking. Some people
There's
just
no
have
seats.
Yeah, you're they said it's like a little van, like a little Volkswagen van going down.
Yeah, without all the seats.
Yeah, and there's like a little cup for them to pee in.
Yep. I think they have like a couple emergency food bars, but like
they can survive for 90 hours, I believe.
Yeah, and electricity taps out before that.
Mm-hmm. This is the scariest thing.
It's so scary and also so wildly unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yes, they can literally send a camera down and watch it from your home. It's going to be the same view.
But also, like, I don't want to have the same experience as someone who, like, works for NASA or is, like, a marine biologist and a scientist who has, like, 15 different doctorate degrees and has been doing all, like, we should not have the same experiences.
We shouldn't have the same experience, but if it was safe to do, it would be in an actual submarine with license. I mean, one of the I don't know what you would call it, but there is a guy that did work for one of these sanctioned companies who's the one that's, like, steering the ship down, but, like, he doesn't work for those sanctioned things anymore. If this was safe for everyone to do,
it would be like whale watching. Like,
yes.
All of your friends would have done it. But, like, I don't want to have an experience that is so unique, only me and a professional who has been training for so long. I go, I'm not qualified.
Nope.
I'm not qualified.
Nope. It's fucking terrifying. Some people have too much fucking money.
Yeah, it's awful. And it reminds me of, I still can't even watch the scene in Spy Kids. Like, I always have to close my eyes. I know, but there's a scene where they're underwater in kind of like a submarine thing. And I, like, have to close my eyes and I can't breathe. Like, I'm just like, ooh, like it's, and so the idea of willingly doing that.
For what, though? To say you did it? That's exactly what it is. And there were, like, some people were like, they could be, like, actually trapped in, like, the thing got trapped in the Titanic wreckage, which is like full circle.
Yep. More money than sense.
Mm-hmm.
A luxury experience.
Mm-hmm.
One of them had chandeliers, though.
Yeah. And you didn't have to pee in a container.
Or be essentially, it looks like the inside of what a bullet, I would think, looks like.
Yeah.
Awful, 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 awful. I don't want to say on a lighter note, but on a
different table.
On a different table and in the similar vein of what the fuck is this headline? We have my nomination. An Oregon man named Gregory Lee Rodvelt, 71 years old. And I will read you the headline about what our man Gregory did.
Okay, here we go.
The jury convicts Oregon man who rigged home with Indiana Jones booby trap, injuring a federal officer. You know what he saw the TikTok trend, my life is a movie, and said, Indiana Jones.
Here we go.
He rigged his home with a booby trap, quote, round hot tub that was on its side set to roll down the hill. This is an article from NBC News by David K. Lee, by the way. So the federal jury in Medford in Oregon found him, of course, guilty for assaulting a federal officer and discharging a firearm during and in relation to the crime. And we're going to get into it. So he had lost his home in a lawsuit. And after he, quote, learned that a receiver had been appointed to sell the property, he proceeded to booby trap it, the federal prosecutor said. And I want you to know, when you look up the image, I will include it when we do the votes on Friday. Melissa, this is a man who booby traps a home.
Pulled up.
And I'm telling you right now, I don't know if he's an actor, but I think he could play himself.
Yeah.
If not, Willem Dafoe, I think, is available.
Mm-hmm. Perfect casting.
Thank you. So bomb specialists with the FBI and Oregon State Police, they were asked to inspect the property, and he was arrested in Arizona in 2017 with unlawful possession of explosives. And when they got to his property, they came upon a minivan blocking the front gates, and upon closer inspection, it was rigged with 2 booby traps, which I have to say, there's actually nothing more embarrassing than someone going, oh, you booby trapped it, and not going into the booby. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, like it feels like a Scooby-Doo villain where it goes, oh no, foiled again. So they disarmed the traps and got to the home's front where they spotted a hot tub tilted at an angle. And I would have gotten away with it. It wasn't for these damn kids. Like it's literally
meddling kids.
Meddling kids, exactly. So they said Rodvelt stated that he set up a fishing line and a tripwire across the property gate that went to a round hot tub that was on its side to roll down the hill and hit whoever goes through the gate. He described it by referencing the, quote, stone rolling down in the Indiana Jones movie. Rodvelt also talked about other tripwires on the property and spike strip made of nails and wood, which was designed to flatten tires. But he did not provide additional specifics about the tripwires. So to enter the house, the law enforcement officers had to use an explosive charge to breach the front door. Once they got inside, they came upon a wheelchair. After it was bumped, it triggered a homemade shotgun device that discharged a .410 shotgun shell that struck the FBI bomb technician below the knee. He was rushed to the hospital where he was treated and then released. And Rodvelt only faces 20 years behind bars, which the defense attorney says that's an unrealistic maximum.
I think that's an unrealistic minimum. Because if it would have hit somebody, I know if one of these would have hit someone, he'd probably get life. But
so my thing with that and with the defense lawyer and with all of them being like, so we saw it. I go, so this is really poorly booby trapped.
Because booby traps, it's a trap for a reason.
I know, but if someone goes, that's a booby trap,
mm-hmm.
then it goes, well, it's not really a booby trap because
I saw it.
And so hey everyone, join me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa DeMonts, for Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong?
Each week, we deliver 4 fun-filled shows.
In Don't Blame Me, we tackle our listeners' dilemmas with hilariously honest advice.
Then we have But Am I Wrong, which is for the listeners that didn't take our advice. Plus, we share our hot takes on current events.
Then tune in to see you next Tuesday for our listener poll results from But Am I Wrong?
And finally, wrap up your week with Fisting Friday, where we catch up and talk all things pop culture.
Listen to Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
The fact that his own lawyer going, that's like an unrealistic maximum, is giving me the energy of like, come on, that was never going to happen. It was just the only reason. It's not that he thought they were going to have to use explosives to get in. How long do you think it took him?
I think the moment he heard that it was happening, he did it. But this
vlogged
feels
it?
like months. No, I don't think this man owns a phone that can vlog.
No, he does not have iPhone face.
Mm-mm.
So how are we attaching a fishing wire to a hot tub?
I don't know, man.
Do you think he played Mousetrap over and over and over again? Like, was there a run through? Did we have a dress rehearsal?
Yeah.
Do we have a design system, or did we just watch Indiana Jones over and over and over again and make what we think would work? Like, were our fingers crossed? Because at least what we know it wasn't conspicuous. But I'm saying if they closed their eyes and they fell into all of this and they went through the booby traps, would they have worked? Because I think the first step of a booby trap, you have to trap them in first.
Yeah.
And that didn't work. So where does the booby come in?
I don't know, man.
They've all got the same energy.
He looks more angry, though.
Hey.
The other Benjamin Ken looked more laid back.
He thinks it's an unrealistic maximum.
Yeah.
Because he's like, y'all bitches, we're never going to fucking do that shit. What did his neighbors think? You know their next door app was fucking, I would die to be in one of those Facebook groups of that town. That neighborhood, imagine.
Yeah.
You as the head of the HOA?
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? I don't think this is the last we're going to hear from him, because I think this is a man who's going to attempt to break out of jail.
Break out of jail. I was going to say, I don't think this man is going to live outside of jail.
No. I think he'll try. But he first has to
somebody
try to
did
get Yeah, he got shot, but he's okay.
Okay. And this happened in 2018.
Yep.
And it's just going.
Yep.
Did you see the picture when he was originally arrested? Because the picture that you just showed me was a newer picture.
No. What's Gregory looking like?
Ready?
Yeah.
scarier.
That is a villain from Scooby-Doo.
Yes. I think Joe might have mellowed him out a little bit.
Yeah, he saw some shit.
This was right after he got arrested. He's like,
He's
what?
a little kookier there. He's hardened.
Yeah.
Wow. But maybe he's hardened and maybe he looks tired because he's been digging a hole. Maybe he's been working on his plan to get out.
Is that what the movie Holes is about? Never seen it.
Different kind of holes.
Digging up.
Dig it. ARMP after the T. Do what you're smelling. Yeah, dog, that's me. I don't take showers and I don't brush my teeth. All I do is dig, hold, eat, sleep. The comments on this, the first comment, the Green Goblin really fell after that first Spider-Man movie.
And that was William Dafoe, wasn't it?
Melissa, I just looked it up to confirm.
Yeah.
It is. So, William, we've got a role for you. They're gonna. Yeah. Also, what's his story? I want to know about the losing of the house. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I can go either way. I mean, I'm not someone who's going to be violence is never the answer. That's just not true. But I can look at someone and go, your heart was in the right place, not poorly executed. So I don't know.
I don't know the circumstances around him losing his house.
I don't know.
But something tells me this isn't the first time that he's been arrested.
This is why I want to know what was going on next door. I'm like, is he that neighbor? Tell me about, is the community
I mean, you can't.
Upset?
I wonder if, does the next door...
I think it's geotag location.
I know, but does it, can you get archival things from 2018? Because if so, we can find this out.
I have so many questions.
All right. That's the end of our show. I hope you enjoyed it.
I hope you did too. And set a booby trap this weekend.
I'm going to set a booby trap, if you know what I mean. Kind of like I almost trapped you earlier with my boobies.
I'm going to set a titty trap. Put my titty in a trap. Call it a titty trap. That's my new rap song. Everybody, stay tuned.
Titty
SoundCloud.
Trap, titty trap, titty trap. Look, we had it.
New duo.
And we have a professional
recording
studio.
We're going to have a flower farm, a food truck, and a rap career.
But, Coco makes music, so.
Coco. I know you heard that and you said,
fire.
Sick.
Mm-hmm.
Fire fucking beat. You could be.
You can be I was going to say you could be our Spinderella to Salt and Pepper, but literally salt and pepper.
Well, I almost made that joke.
And then Spinderella is Coco. But Coco goes it's another kitchen thing.
Salt, pepper, and cocoa.
Mm-hmm.
What does that make? A weird dish.
Disgusting.
Very,
maybe
mole. A turmeric, chocolatey. Yeah. I'm like, what else do you need salt and pepper for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mole.
Yeah.
Nice. Amazing. Well.
Glad we got there.
So glad we got there. Send us pictures of your booby traps. Not your boobs. I truly mean.
That's literally sounded like you were asking for
I want to play mousetrap
solicitations for titties.
No. I want to play mouse. And you know what it is? You know what weather it is outside? It's treasure hunting weather.
Yeah, it is.
You know why I picked the story. It's got same vibes. Anyways, that's it. We hope you enjoyed. Don't forget you can vote for who you think was wrong in every segment. So head on over to our Instagram. You can vote and we'll read the results in Fisting Friday. But tomorrow you will hear the results from last week's episode. So don't forget to subscribe. You can rate the podcast, leave us a nice review, join our Patreon, and start a treasure hunt. Wee! Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, we'll circle back. When did we say that?
This one.
Okay.
We'll circle back.
But Am I Wrong is a production by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa DeMonts, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
And production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Laureau, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot. and someone is watching Ruth. Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.